Welcome back, boys and girls. So the progress is shown. Little did you know, the cheap paint that I got didn't quite pan out. Black is a good color for easy coverage with few amount of layers. The clear coat from Duplicolor that I tried did not do what I had expected. So first problem is that I used the Harbor Freight gun. Not a big deal. They work pretty well for what they're the price and everything. But the big one is when I left that night, I didn't get all the fumes out of the makeshift paint booth. So all those like particles, I assume, got on the clear coat and it let it, like, I guess, flatten is what happened. So what I did is I used some other, it's called Shopline. So I used Shopline JC630 clear coat with a hardener and a reducer. So then it actually, huge difference. This is what my plan was, is making this nice and glossy. We'll see with a light, see if that shows you guys a little bit better. The amount of gloss that this has is just astronomically amazing. I couldn't be happier with how that came out. Now keep in mind, this is a race car, not so much a show car, but my goal was to make it a nice race car. Also makes it a problem because now I want to paint the entire car that way. As you can see also, I got some new parts, or I got some parts hanging. These are literally like 2 years old or less, and I didn't put any like coating on them or paint or nothing when I first put them on, so I had to remove all the rust. I had to clean them up and get prepped for paint. So then that's what I did. My thought process is between black and silver or gray. Those are like the real race colors that makes it like really sleek and fast looking, and as well as it keeps the parts looking new as much as possible. Black is hard to keep clean, like anytime. Silver, hard to keep clean, but I used like paint that would resist brake dust and other stuff like that, as well as it's easy to clean. And it's always going to look good for the most part. I'll know when it looks dirty because, well, it shows. It's easy to see. Other than that, the frame that I built worked actually fantastic. It kept everything I wanted to do. I accidentally actually bought the really good painter's plastic from my local Menards. It's like this static cling 31 mil plastic that worked out really well because of all the dust and anything that would bend in the makeshift paint booth, which, keep in mind, I sealed it to the floor with the simple aspect, I sealed it to the floor with water, so that all the plastic that was like draped on the floor, like all through here, and then it came through over there, water sat on the floor, one, to keep dust particles down, but two, to actually seal the plastic to the floor, not allowing extra like debris and air coming in. I didn't use a fan, which was one problem that I probably should have done, but it didn't affect the quality of the paint and the application of it. I used a pretty good mask that covered everything. It helps reduce the scents and chemicals coming in. It's got a charcoal canister filter on them, so it's not so much harmful for me. I'm very happy with how it turned out. To speed it up, you know, that way you guys didn't have a bunch of the video of me sanding down, and like, who wants to watch that? I know I do a lot of talking in these videos, and once we get to the better action, not so much irritatingly boring, then that's when you guys will see all the good clips. I'll drop it in the motor, back in. I do got quite a bit of cleaning to do on this beast. Just like everything else on the car, I want it to be clean. I want it to be like fresh for the new year. And so then people just kind of like look at it and like, oh my gosh, like this guy took some work. So like I will have to take some extra time in hiding the wires, and I got to redo the trans lines. When I did these trans lines, I just kind of like put it in there, bent it by hand, and made it work. Where you can see these edges, these turns aren't the very nicest. They kind of just, I unrolled it, and then like I didn't straighten it out. That's just what happens. So this time I'm gonna go through it, straighten it out, make these bends really nice, follow the frame, and then it'll look good. So like my plan is to, with it, so it'll come down, it'll arc with the frame, it'll come up and over. It'll come up and over, so it'll come straight and then come back down, and then it'll come out, and with that front end for the radiator, it'll kind of work with that. I'm putting a brand new trans cooler in. This trans cooler, it worked, but not where I wanted it to. It doesn't have the cooling capacity or the cooling capabilities that I was asking from it. So you move on, you step up. In this game of race cars, you kind of got to make the next step progressively. You can't just buy high end all the time. So that was one of the things that I'm working on. I'm going to bring it up, and it's amazing. I am really happy with this car right now. Just now I got to paint the rest of it. It is good. The black that I have on there it's more of a satin color. It's not clean. You can see all the streaks. But it's not a very reflective because of it's a single stage. There's not really clear on it. You could probably argue just putting clear over it, like a high dollar 2-part or 3-part clear, where you would add it's the actual clear. You do the reducer and you do the hardener, like I did on the firewall. It's just with a different base coat. The base coat that I did use, the lacquer. It did actually take this clear coat really, really well. It didn't lift. It could probably be shinier with this clear if that was the only clear on it. The other clear that I put on it, the lacquer, usually soaks up what you put on above it for gloss wise. So I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. I couldn't be more happy than what it was. I did have to do in a lot of extra work today because of that aspect, but for today, it's amazing. Like, seriously. Transmission's dirty, so I gotta clean that now. Go figure, but that's no big deal, right? Either way, guys, I'm happy you guys got to come along for the firewall episode, but now we'll be starting the process of cleaning up all the parts, putting them on. The other thing I want to do is, because my angles for steering, so my scrub radius is good, but camber, that's one of my big issues right now. So we have to clean up the A-arms because the powder coat isn't, I guess, holding up to where it's supposed to, at least in my personal requirements of powder coat itself. I'm pretty familiar with how it works, the longevity of it, how well or how easy it is to maintain, but this, whatever reason, did not take to these panels, or these parts, not panels. So we're going to clean them up, we're going to take care of them, we're going to make them look brand new just like everything else. We're going to probably have to put all brand new ball joints on. I'm not very happy with how hard they are and gritty. They actually feel gritty inside. So, and probably because the boots are all gone, like I said previously. So it's gonna be awesome though. We're gonna have a fresh car. I did find that my front shocks are bad. They're not acting like a 90-10 shock should. Like, it should be pretty obvious. So that's one thing we got to order. So